Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Love or Hate. So yes, I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, I apologise, but we today are talking about Attack on Titan Wings of Freedom number 1. Now I have got Attack on Titan 2, I am currently working on that, but yes, so I finished this game last year, believe it or not. So if you haven't seen the anime, or you haven't read the manga, I'm not going to spoil too much for you, because at the end of the day I don't want to read like the synopsis for this specifically as well, because it does tell you a lot of information which is more fun to kind of find out by watching the anime or the manga yourself. That's where I'm going to start. For those of you who didn't know, this is actually based on an anime and a manga. For those of you who don't know what that is, you're missing out on a lot. The game is a lot of fun. I actually owned this game for like well over a year, probably even over 2 years by the time I played it, and it's so much fun. Like, I'd seen other people play it, and I was just kind of like, it just looks so complicated. There looks like so much to it. It just looks really confusing, and it's actually super intuitive and easy. Like, it's so simple to play, to get used to. You can literally just jump straight in. It teaches you how to do it. It takes maybe a mission or two to kind of get used to the controls, to kind of like flow with them and everything, but that's pretty much with every game that you've never played. You know, it takes time to get used to the controls so you can kick ass later on. I had a lot of fun with this game, I'll be completely honest. Basically, so what you're seeing on the screen now is one of the earlier side missions that you can go off and do. So essentially you've got the main story, but eventually you can go off and do scout missions, which are the side missions where you basically just go around subjugating a lot of giant titans. So as you can see, the titans are the main enemy. Now again, that's a big part of the story. I'm not going to give anything of the story away, because I really do think that people should go and check this out for themselves if they want to see kind of like what's going on with it and everything, because it is an amazing story. I'm like so up to date on the anime and everything. It's so good. But you can see in the top right corner, you can see the map, and you're going to kind of notice, hey, that looks quite similar to kind of like a Dynasty Warriors map, where you would go around and try and find all of the like enemies and stuff and take them all out, doing side missions as well on your way. And you'd be right, this is made by the same company that basically did pretty much all of the Dynasty Warriors games, and they've done a fantastic job with it. The game looks really good, it controls extremely well, and it just feels really good. It's very simplistic, it's intuitive, and one of the best things that I love about this is the fighting. Like, getting to fight these ginormous titans and stuff is just so much fucking fun. Like, you basically can just, as you can see here, you can just chop off all of their limbs, then cut their nape, and boom, you're done. And it just feels awesome when you do that to a titan. So the story is actually really fun. It's enjoyable. It kind of focuses on the first series of the anime, and part of the second series then, if you have the DLCs and stuff, which I did, because I just enjoyed this so much. So it works really fucking well. And it's just a lot of fun. It's really enjoyable. You're also going to notice I'm repeating myself a lot. It's because I got no script. I have no script this time. I'm kind of just squeezing this in because it's late anyway, and I want to just kind of talk about the game how I remember it, and that to me would feel more organic than having like a script on specific things to talk about. Now, one thing I will say is there is quite a few bugs in this game. A lot of problems with kind of like sometimes when you'll specifically target a limb or something on a titan. Essentially, when you go to attack it, it'll be like, oh, you didn't have enough speed, even though a few seconds ago you had enough speed. Like, it'll contradict itself a lot. A lot of the time, because the buildings are destructible, like that are around, if a titan goes onto those buildings and stuff, they can suddenly sort of not be able to be attacked or anything like that. And it can get very annoying and frustrating at times, especially when you're taking on like the final subjugation, which is basically the boss of the level. And they sort of get stuck on something, or they glitch out, and it can be quite annoying at times because you could be right at the end of a mission and then you've got to restart the entire thing simply because this one Titan was broken and you couldn't kill it. Which can be extremely annoying, but it is something that if you can overlook, because it does happen quite often, but luckily I think the game makes up for it in the gameplay mechanics, as well as like the enjoyment of just flying around and doing crazy things. So it's a lot of fun. As for kind of like talking about other problems with the game, I mean, if you're not into like sort of reading subtitles, I don't think you're going to care about the story. They have taken, basically, there's two versions of the anime. There's obviously the sub and the dub. They've taken the sub route. So basically it's the Japanese voice actors doing the voice for it, and you have to read the subtitles obviously to understand it. Now if you don't mind doing that, I'm not really one that cares. You know, you'll be perfectly fine, but if obviously you're not kind of into reading just subtitles to get story and expedition and stuff, you're probably not going to enjoy this game at all for its story, because you're probably not going to care. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about the gameplay. So as you can see, you have to lock onto specific limbs and you chop them off, and then you go for the nape of the neck, and that's how you defeat them. Now you don't have to chop off all their limbs, but you get materials and stuff from specific limbs on certain Titans, which you can use to upgrade your equipment. Now upgrading in this game is a lot of fun. At first I found it quite tedious and quite boring and quite annoying, because it's very complicated. When you first see it, it seems very complicated, at least, but it's actually super simple. You basically can just buy new equipment and you upgrade it with materials that you get along the way. Side missions are essential if you want to upgrade your equipment. If you just play through like the main story without doing pretty much any other side missions, you are not going to get many upgrades at all. Even if you subjugate all of the Titans in every single level that you play and you do all of the side missions, you are not going to be able to get all of the upgrades that you need. You're gonna have to go around doing some side missions if you want to have some ease while you're playing. Otherwise, you should be pretty much sorted. So yeah, that's a fun thing that happens. So yeah, but another part of the gameplay as well is sort of, obviously, for those of you who don't know, you're not going to understand this, but you do get to play as a Titan. For those of you who've seen the anime and read the manga, you'll obviously know what I mean. You do get to play as Titans, and that is so much fun. You just get to punch the shit out of everything. You get to destroy all the Titans in a few hits. And basically, one of the characters, called Eren, obviously, people who have seen the anime and the manga will know, you get an upgrade later on that allows you to turn into a Titan consistently. After filling up your special bar, which you can see in the bottom left corner. There's like R2 next to like this glowing bar. That's basically your special meter once you use it as normal characters and as Eren before you get the upgrade for the Titan change. You can fire off a pistol in the air, and the little squad that you have with you will just basically become OP and just chop the shit out of every single Titan. So that's another thing. As you can see, you've got a little squad as well in the corner with different letters next to them. Obviously S is the best. You've got like B, C, you actually have, I believe, D's, I'm not too sure. I can't remember fully, it has been a while since I finished this game, but essentially you want to try and get side missions done so you get a better team with you. It basically just makes the levels a lot easier and can be essential on harder difficulties as well, so I would definitely advise doing that while you're playing. You also have to switch out your blades and your gas canisters constantly. Now for a lot of people that's not going to mean much. But for people who obviously have seen the anime and the manga, you know that once you're using kind of like gas canisters and stuff like that, you are going to notice that they break over time and you run out of gas. You have to switch them out. This is essential. It is an essential part. Obviously, while I was playing through the game, I didn't actually have too much problem with it. I didn't tend to have to do it that often, mainly because my special meter would consistently keep filling. And once you use that, they both basically just fill up and fill up a little bit more, which is really cool, so you don't have to consistently keep swapping up. But there's plenty of resupply people that you can go around and talk to that will give you a, you know, a resupply of the equipment, so you can just switch them out, carry on, kick some ass with some squad mates. I believe for the second game there is a co-op aspect. Now I can't remember for the life of me in the first game if there is a co-op aspect. I don't think there is, but I know that the second game does contain a co-op aspect, which I will be talking about in that review, of course. You're also going to know, I'm just going to do a little announcement before I finish up on this game. You're going to notice that this is very, very different to the other Love or Hate episodes. Normally I had a structure, I knew what I was going to talk about, specific things, things that were going on. But I've decided that with the Love or Hate series, I want to just basically go off the cuff. I want to talk about what I remember from the game. So, granted, these might not be the best reviews if you're looking for very in-depth kind of talking about versions of the game. But if you're kind of looking to get someone's opinion, what they loved about the game, what they hated kind of thing, that is pretty much what you're going to get from here. So yeah, with this game, I would definitely say I love the gameplay. The gameplay was a lot of fun. The story is incredibly good and incredibly accurate and faithful to the material that it takes from. The variation in the characters, like you get to basically play as a number of different characters, all with their own skill sets and everything, is really, really varied and really good. The variety in the enemies can be a bit stale at times. That is something against the game, like it can get very, very repetitive very quickly. If you're not into that kind of thing, then you're probably not going to like this game. And obviously the bugs and the problems that you can encounter can be a serious pain in the butt. But other than that, I would definitely say I loved this game. This game was a lot of fun to play. I would literally start playing it and be like, oh, I'm going to play it for like an hour or something. I'd look at the time and 4 or 5 hours had passed. It was definitely one of those games, and I was constantly into it. I was constantly playing it. I managed to finish 100% the entire game in like 3 days. It was unreal. I fell completely in love with this game, and I do not regret it for a second. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed every second of it. And yes, I would say that I loved this game, and I highly recommend that you get it, especially if you've watched the anime and the manga and you loved it. Definitely get this game. It is super, super good. I would definitely advise, though, looking around shops and maybe getting a second-hand version of the game, because the game is still very expensive. Obviously, as it's like an anime manga kind of base game, as they always are, they're quite expensive even when they're on sale, so I would advise maybe looking around shops and getting a physical copy of it for cheaper. But if you don't care about that, then hey, more power to you. Enjoy the game and definitely pick it up. Thank you guys very much for watching. I am going to be working on the next review, which is The Path of Neo, and hopefully that will be coming out in the next day or so. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am currently playing through a number of different games. Check out the Facebook page, which is linked down below, and also my Twitch, which is linked down below, because I'm going to be going back to streaming as well very, very shortly. I definitely would say I'm going to be putting a list up of games that I'm going to be going through on the Facebook page very, very soon, so check that out if you want to know what games. If you want to suggest any games to me, as always guys, remember, just send me a message or leave a comment down below on what game you would like me to play. It can be on any console, it can be on PC, it can be absolutely anything. Let me know and I will do my absolute best to review the game and play through it for you. So thank you very much guys for watching. I love you very much, and I will catch you in the next video that I do. Thank you very much, and goodbye for now.